Right, welcome to this review video and unboxing video for a new set that's come from gamemat.eu. It's called Fallout Zone. In this video here we're going to take it out of its box. This is how it arrives. It's pre-painted terrain from gamemat.eu. They produce these battle mats, but also you can get sets of terrain from them. So we'll take a look at this new set that's now available from gamemat.eu. So it comes in a sturdy box like this. It is one of the larger sets that they do here. They recommend for a 6x4 table, sort of 2 sets. You don't have to get 2 of the same, but sort of 2 sets of this kind of size would nicely fill a table with terrain. I do have 2 sets, so if you will look at one, and then later I'm going to fill the table up with the terrain, and you'll get an idea of how much of the board one of these sets and then 2 of these sets will fill up. So just open this up here. First thing you get is a safety sheet here. They're just saying you need to store it. If you are going to keep it and store it, should be fine, but don't go over 40 degrees Celsius or below 0. So be careful, you're going to store it in a cold shed or garage. Is best to keep it within a sensible temperature. And if you're living in, they ship internationally, and if you're living in a very, very hot country, then watch out for that as well, because it's polyresin is the material that they've used, and so it just takes a bit of care to look after it. But I've never had an issue with any of the terrain, as long as you store it sensibly and look after it, so that shouldn't be a problem. Opens out like this. Should arrive safe. It's packed very precisely inside this polystyrene here to protect it. It's all moulded and shaped to the terrain. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, and then we'll look at each individual piece of terrain. So take it out of the box here. It'll look something like that, like so. I'll look at the largest piece here first of all. So, and I'm quite impressed by this terrain because it's been well thought out here. As you'll see, just I'm thinking sort of game wise as far as using the miniatures is concerned. There's like a big vent here, so it comes pre-painted, this terrain, sort of basic, but enough for you to unpack it and then play it and use it straight away. And then personally I like to take the paint job that's been done, and usually I like to have my own effects, so you can imagine you can go for nice washed out effects with rust and so on, the metal work, and in between all of the stonework and pavement and so on, just to add more effects. And here you can add some ultra effects, make this a nice neon kind of green colour as well, just to enhance what's already been done for you. But that's this large sort of waste vent type thing going on here. I'm saying it's well thought out because see they've got these levels at each stage here. It's nice and sensible for putting models whilst you're playing a game. There's not really 2 areas where you're struggling to balance models. You can put them on top. Also, as they climb up the sides here, they can be placed on there also. So that's a useful enough addition. And you know, it's not solid. You can actually get inside there as well. So models can hide. So a good line of sight blocking piece of terrain as well. So useful enough. You know, line of sight blocking this direction. Through here, and then for actually tucking models inside and hiding them away, protect them on 3 sides also. So good concept, this one, and a nice sort of central part here for this terrain set. That's that larger piece, and it's made from this. It's polyresinous, and it's solid enough, like so, with a solid base like that, and you can feel that the weight of it. It's a good solid construction to this thing. The way I would paint these up myself would be to give it a spray of varnish over the top just to seal it all in, and then you can just immediately apply your paint and effects on there. And if you like the concept or idea of doing that, I've been doing it to a number of sets from gamemat.eu, then check out there's tutorials here on the channel of how you can revamp the terrain, and you can just follow that process for any of the terrain sets and just apply your own effects. And also the Imperial posters as well, propaganda posters, you could apply them to this set as well very easily in sort of areas like this as well. But I do like this set here. It's one of the better ones that they've produced. Then this next piece is taller actually. It's a large building, ruined building set here. So let's take this off. Something like that. So 3 levels to it here, and it's like a mesh type metallic effect here, and then the grey stonework as well. and these industrial pipes. So the theme continues to run throughout this set here. Now, what's interesting about this one is they've put walkways on the edge here as well. It's very useful in games where you come to a large building, and usually it's, you know, where are miniatures as they try and climb up the top. That's one of the questions that comes up. But here you can move models up along the outside of a building and actually put them up different levels as well. So that's a good innovation there also. So it looks good, and that's the way that terrain piece looks, just there. So it's that piece, and we'll zoom out in a moment. You'll get an idea of how the whole thing looks once it's set up. Then, carrying on with the theme, two sort of medium-sized pieces here. I think they're both the same. Like so. So yeah, they're two of the same pieces, slightly different with the painting that's been done. But again, same concept there, and then also the walkway around the edge, which is useful enough. Like that. And again, one solid wall here, which is useful for hiding models for line of sight blocking. Also, what's interesting about these is that I think the metalwork, see these bits of steel sticking out here for this sort of reinforced concrete, they're actually real pieces of metal. So they've cast the structure of the building itself, and then they've actually put in pieces of metal here to add in the extra effects to that also. So it's a good touch, and that's throughout the concept here, the design as well, and all of these, I think, pretty sure real metal that they've put in there just to add that extra effect. But easy effects you could do with these, just add a bit of rust, even just a pot of Seraphim Sepia, run that over, fill it in all the cracks, and that'll soon add some extra tones and colour to this set easily, no problem at all. So that's those two. So with these two combined with this one, you can really start, you know, creating ruins and different combinations, something like that, just to give you an idea of the variety that you can go for when you have these pieces that you can move around. So gives you an idea of what you're able to do. Next you get 3 of these here. So lower buildings, almost like a reinforced building almost here. Almost like a bunker. It's a ruined one here, so you've enough to place a unit inside, some models on top and so on. It's another smaller ruined piece. That'll fill out the board nicely, especially if 3 of them. So 1, 2. Again, look, you can link them up to create a building like so. All different combinations you can go for. 1, 2, and then the third one's just here. Like so. So I think that looks pretty good like that actually. It goes together like that, just as a bombed out, you know, it's been bombed out right through the centre. Something like that, looking pretty good. Just wondering if you can go for sort of linking them up together. Yeah, look, it would work alright here as well. I'll spin it around and show you. Yeah, it still matches in nicely, so yeah, loads of variety available here. So that's the main bulk of it here. So it's these ruined pieces, these ones, the larger sort of central piece here as well, the feature of the whole terrain set. And also you get some battlefield accessories with this terrain set as well. So you get 6 of these, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Yeah, all pre-painted. So it's like sandbags, some girders here, steel girders, and some barrels and ammunition containers and so on. But like a little barricade set. Great for going in between buildings, like something like that, just to finish them off, to make them longer. So you can create your own standalone barricades, or you can have a building like that, and then you can have them running sort of around the edge, and you can put the miniatures, have them hiding behind the barricades, something like that. So there's 6 of them here in the set. So what I'll do is I'm going to unwrap all of these, and then we'll zoom out, take a look at the table of one set, and I'll bring in the second set, and that should fill up the table nicely. Okay, so I've set up the terrain here. You'd naturally think go for one of the ruins or the urban type battle mats from gamemat.eu, but I'm using the Martian one here just to show that this terrain set actually fits in with that really well as well. So the main focus here, or the main feature of this terrain set, sits nicely just here. Big piece of terrain, multiple levels, and then a nice line of sight blocking terrain as well. And then to start to place some of the battlefield accessories here. Gone for a larger ruin across here as well. So you can see the different combinations you can go for with that. Another ruin, and then 2 of these next to each other there as well. So it fills up. It's a good feature on the board, and bring in a little bit more terrain, and you'd have the board nicely filled up. But I'm going to show you 2 sets now. Just to show you, 2 sets should be enough to fill up this 6x4 board, no problem at all. Okay, so you can see I've got the 2 sets out here. I wanted to do this, put them back to back, just to make a sort of a large industrial plant type idea going on here. More barricades going up. Then a larger sort of city area here. See the double set working together. Now you've got all of these pieces creating quite a city here with streets and so on running through, and then sort of placing the barricades in between just to link the whole thing together. And a little compound sort of area along there, and then around the edge here. Also got the portals been sent through. It's a standalone terrain piece that's available from gamemat.eu, but it's a very impressive piece for sure. Fits in perfectly on this mat and terrain set as well. I've also added in some bits of the terrain just here in this corner. Also, just gives you an idea. You don't have to spread the pieces evenly around. You can sort of make larger areas of interest, industrial sort of feature in the centre here, and that sort of gives you an idea of how set my board's up as well for our games of 40k. But 2 sets, it gives you an idea of how much the board can be filled up when you use a double set here for the Fallout terrain set. So that's the review. Check out gamemat.eu. They supply these battle mats here, different sizes and varieties from them, and also plenty of terrain sets now available. And if you want the Fallout terrain set, that's now available from them also. So that's the review and unboxing here. Keep a lookout for more reviews and unboxings in the future. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.